Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Lowe with a quick review of today's lesson, lesson 1-6, which is all about rounding decimals. So in class this morning, we looked at the solve and share, where Marcy recorded numbers from an experiment, 12 and 87 hundredths, 12 and 13 hundredths, 12 and 5 tenths, 12 and 8 hundredths. She wanted to know which ones are closer to 12 and which ones are closer to 13. Two ways to look at this. Number one, we talked about using number lines. So if I go over to the right here side and I make a number line, and it's not very straight, but you get the idea. And I say that this is 12, this is going to be 13. This would obviously be 12 and 5 tenths or 12 and a half. I want to look at 12.87. 12.87, if this is 12.5, 12.87 is going to be somewhere over here. So that's where we would say 12.87 is. And 12.87 is obviously closer to 13 than it is compared to 12. But if we look at 12 and 13 hundredths or 12.13, again, we look at our benchmark. That benchmark says 12 and a half. 12.1 is going to be somewhere over here. So this 12.13 is closer to the number 12. As we kind of progressed further, we got into what we call rounding rules, and we started looking at how to round numbers. So we're going to take a look at that right now. So rounding replaces one number with another number that tells about, and that's the key word. You're going to see about quite a bit today. How many or about how much. So if we want to round 2 and 36 hundredths to the nearest tenth, I'm going to write down 2 and 36 hundredths and just follow these steps. Step 1 says look to find the rounding place. Well, I want to round to the nearest tenth. The tenths place is right here. And then look at the digit to the right. So we underline the place we are rounding. We are going to circle the number to its right. If that number is 5 or greater, the underlined digit goes up 1. If the digit is less than 5, then we leave that number by itself. So as I underline that 3 in the tenths place and I look over to the right, or I look over to that 6, well, 6 is more than 5. That means that 3 goes up 1 digit. So 2 and 36 hundredths will round or be about equal to 2.4 or 2 and 4 tenths. And this is the key right here. This is a big step right here. Drop the digits after we have rounded. So once you round, we don't keep that 6, we drop it, we get rid of it. Let's do a couple of examples. So I want to round the decimal 2 and 5 tenths to the nearest whole number. So I copy that down in my notebook. Now, anytime I see to the nearest whole number, that will equal, whoa, that's crazy. That will equal the ones place. Yeah, my pen's being a little weird today, which is fine. So underline the digit that I'm rounding to, the ones place, circle the digit to its right. I look at that digit is 5 if it's 5 or greater. So if the circle digit is greater than 5, the underlined digit will go up 1 place. So 2 and 5 tenths will round to about 3. And it's really that simple. Let's do a couple more examples. I want to round to the nearest whole number. So now I've got this huge number, 86.684, which is read as 86 and 684 thousandths. I underline the digit to the rounding place. We are rounding to the nearest whole number. We said that equaled the ones place. So I underline the digit in the ones place. I look immediately to its right and I circle the digit to its right. That's the one. That 6 is going to tell me, since this 6 right here in the tenths place is greater than 5, the underlined digit will go up 1. So for instead of 86, I say 86 and 684 thousandths is about equal to 87. And I can look at my number line too. We can always make number lines. And if I have 86 here, I have 87 here. Right in between the two, I have 86.5. Well, 86 and 6 tenths is going to be somewhere over here. So obviously that dot is closer to 87 than it is to 86. Again, let's look at another example here. This one says round the decimal to the place of the underlined digits. So they've already underlined it for me, but we're going to write it down anyways. 2 and 758 thousandths. This time we are rounding to the tenths place. So in my notebook, I underline the digit in the tenths place. I circle the digit in the hundredths place. And I look at that number right there. If this number that is circled in blue is 5 or greater, the number that is underlined in red goes up 1. So I look at my notes, 2 and 758 thousandths. I look at the 5, 5 is greater or equal to 5. Then that 7 becomes an 8. So 2 and 780 or 758 thousandths becomes 2 and 8 tenths. And I just drop those digits. I get rid of the 5 and the 8. I don't need them because they'll just be zeros. And we just get rid of those zeros. So that's really it today, guys. You're going to practice your rounding rules. Everything gets written in your notebook. I don't care how easy it is. That means you copy down the problem. You underline the place value that you are rounding to. You circle the digit to its right. If the digit that you circled is 5 or more, the underlined number goes up 1. If it's 4 or less, the underlined number stays the same. And everything after the underlined number gets dropped. You don't need it. All right, you guys are going to have a great day today. Make sure you are being 212 and have a great day.